introduce who we have here. So why don't you state your name, brokerage, where you're from?
I'm Sue Adler. Sorry, I'm a little bit of advertised I run a team in Shortham, New Jersey, to handle the train line towns in Manhattan.
My name's Kyle Killebrew, and I run a team in Springfield, south of Chicago.
Byron Lazine, we have a team, Seaport Real Estate Group, on the shoreline in Connecticut. We're with William Pitt, Sotheby's International Realty.
Awesome. So I'd love to start with you, Sue, because I know you've grown up in real estate, and to give you guys a little bit of a background, the industry tried to kind of have a balanced panel of someone who, who does in new schools, someone who focuses a little bit more on the traditional, and someone who focuses a little bit more on the new school. So we might have a little bit of a debate, which is always fun. But I was talking to Sue backstage. We were talking about, obviously there's a lot of value in not just the digital marketing and all the new fun, shiny stuff, but that sort of belly to belly and that traditional piece of it. So maybe you can share a little bit about your philosophy of business and how important traditional marketing is, and where that intersection between traditional marketing and new marketing kind of happens.
Yeah, well,
it's a big question.
I used to be, I went to New York, so I was 100% digital. I moved there, but then my business grew, and I had past clients, friended them on Facebook, then real estate, and really good referral business, buying everything like that. So we kind of combined old and the new. As we're growing, we become marketing-based and marketing-enhanced. We really do both. And I have a full-time business associate. She makes over 100 phone calls a day. She basically calls the phone book. She'll circle prospect around neighborhoods if we have buyers looking for neighborhoods. Every time we have a sale in the neighborhood. So our whole team now is prospecting for new clients. And so we nail prospect. And so it's really the combination that so we can't really convert somebody online. It's that phone call, it's that conversation, and we're doing the objections that actually do the conversion. So if I had to pick a side, I would really say the old school.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of that negative connotation we were talking about old school. I don't really like that term.
Right, exactly. It's more, well, even having been here direct.
Yeah.
So, I studied consumer, and we interviewed a lot of consumers, and we've lost that personal touch through the internet. Everything's about efficiency, and it's so to build that relationship without that, we really get nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you're a big believer in that too, Kyle.
Yeah.
Don't just waste your time all day on Facebook playing around. Like, you gotta get in front of people.
It's unbelievable to me. I hear people in my office, they're sitting around, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't seem to sell anything. And then I walk by them each time, they're like looking at other people's Facebook pages, and I think to myself, that's not Facebook marketing.
Yeah.
Facebook, I think, is a fantastic tool, but it's a tool. It's not a place to hang out all day. I would definitely consider myself more old school, and I think that because primarily the main source of my business has been through direct mail. And I've been active on it, I've been consistent with it. And sometimes when someone calls you and says, hey, my name is Mary Smith, and my mom has 15 postcards of yours in my house, and she passed away 3 days ago. That sounds kind of morbid, but it's like, hey.
You're getting really, really deep there.
You know what? Unforgivable, right? Really, there's a reason why you're marketing these people, and sometimes you're 75 years old. Maybe those postcards are your Facebook. We don't know what those people are looking at.
Right. Well, I think you can, to your point, you can't convert online. You can convert online if you're using the right tactics, right? So backstage, I was showing you guys a little bit of what our team's doing, Support Real Estate Group Facebook page. If we have a closed sale, as opposed to sending out the postcard, we're putting that on Facebook, right? Call or click the link for more information. That link is a Calendly.com link where you can set an appointment right on the spot. So the sole purpose of marketing is set appointments, right? That's it. That's the game. On a piece of mail, you're gonna have to convert that appointment. But if they're clicking and setting up an appointment on a calendar that I already have open to them to do that, appointment's set, now I can reach out to them, right? They've done the work.
Right. Well, and I think that's an interesting tactic. So backstage, Byron's like, my Facebook page, right?
Look at this stuff.
And I was really impressed. I mean, a couple of things that I thought there was a lot of things that you did well, but we talked about something as simple as Bitly links. And Bitly's been around forever, it feels like. But it's a great way to track, right? What's working, what's not working.
Well, so where are they coming from on that Calendly link?
Right.
I don't know if I just put the Calendly link there. Using Bitly, I know if they're coming from Facebook, if they're coming from the email newsletter, what's working, what's not.
I also think you have to keep in mind, though, I don't disagree with you, but I'll disagree a little bit. You have to know your market, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're, for example, in my market, if there's neighborhoods where the homes were built 45 years ago, and in my area we have basements, right? So all the laundries were in the basement when they built those houses originally. The folks who've been there for 45 years, right, they're moving because they don't want to walk down to the basement anymore to get their laundry. So if you know the demographic of the neighborhood, that's the neighborhood you should be marketing to. So I would say that when you use your direct mail, I think it's good to do it everywhere, frankly, targeted. But I think it's also good to think through who lives in these neighborhoods that I'm going to, and who, if somebody who's 75 years old doesn't want to go to the basement, where they live, and let's fire on them, because those are the folks looking at postcards.
Which is why I like Facebook advertising so much, because I can actually target, your point, the demographic that I want, right? If I'm sending out a letter in the mail, or if I'm literally taking a newspaper ad out, I'm hoping and praying the right demographic, because there's a demographic I'm targeting for every listing, is going to see page 24, my newspaper ad. Where in Facebook, I can say, okay, New York City buyer, age 50 to 65, net worth of X, and spend my money in the appropriate place, right? I think that's the game.
Call high school director when their kids are graduating.
There you go.
Yeah, because that's target marketing as well.
Absolutely.
Old school way.
Absolutely.
The other thing is, my philosophy is if you do an amazing service, and that is honestly your best marketing, because then they're going to write you an amazing review, and then you can go back to the new school because they're going to find you on Zillow for an amazing review. So there's so many. It all really comes down to that. You have to do a great job for people, and that's your best marketing.
Yeah, proof of success.
Yeah.
Now, what I like to do, I know there's some peeps, I can't really say, but some peeps of mine that are doing the same thing, right? Where the proof of success, take the map, show the sales, run that ad to the demographic within your town on Facebook, so everybody can see clearly, I'm doing so many sales, not I'm number one in my office, or I'm number one in the market. Nobody cares, right? They care about how many people have you affected, how many homes have you sold, right? Show them that. Show it to them consistently.
I agree with that. And Byron and I were duking this out a little earlier, which is
I told them they should disagree with each other. It's more exciting, right?
And I'm trying to make friends here, so that is tough, but.
Yeah, we don't have no friends. I would say this though, they care more about themselves though. They don't care. You want to somehow explain to them that you are the salesperson in the area and you are the expert. But at the end of the day, people want to talk about themselves and they want to talk about their house. And they want to know why you are the expert with their particular house. One of the ads that we run, for example, says something like, we know you already have a real estate relationship. However, we're nervous that your real estate relationship that you had previously may not be up to speed with the current market. So please give us the opportunity to review what your agent is going to do for you and then go ahead and use them. But gosh darn, be very, very careful that they know what they're doing first. And it puts that doubt in people's minds. And I think at the end of the day, what we learn here is the traditional, the new school, and the old school put together correctly is the ultimate ticket.
Well, there's no doubt we're all trying to get to the same place, right? Everybody's trying to get face to face. I just believe that if I'm spending my time, now, granted, I know you're not stuffing envelopes, right? Like, I get that. But if I'm spending my time only deploying old school tactics, I'm going to reach a limited number of people. Right? So if I'm reaching people at scale, whether that's Facebook ads or whatever, I'm going to have more opportunities to set those face to face, and that's where you win, because you're trying to build trust.
And one of the things I want to mention was Sue. She was sharing with me backstage something really, I thought was kind of a cool hybrid between face to face and also online. We're talking about this contest.
So we had a director of marketing / community outreach, and last year, and I can't take credit for this, Martin Ballas, the one who originally started doing it. We did a 100 Home Scout charity program where once we we had all the local charities, they were able to participate in this, and then the community voted on which charities they wanted to receive the $20,000 that they're going to be donating, and it's divided for the top 6, and the top would get the 10,000 and went down from there. We had over 10,000 unique visitors, and you could vote on a daily basis, so they were coming to our website every single day voting. At the end of the day, once we did a sale around August last year, and then we presented those big checks, and then we got a lot of press from it. So every single local charity sent out their press release, so it wasn't us doing all the marketing, promoting ourselves, it was them promoting, hey, look at this, our charity plus us. So it really became very viral, and we got a lot of business from it, but we also it felt so good to get back to the community they serve.
That was on Facebook or on?
Well, the links for voting were on Facebook.
Right.
But it
was word of mouth at scale.
But it was both. It was all
You know what she did?
Yeah.
You know what you did though? You implemented something.
Yeah.
And what you'll learn.
And she not only implemented, but she planned and aggressively did it. What I see happen all the time is, well, I'll try Facebook ad, and I'll try mailing it a month or two. But what all 3 of you I think have in common, you may disagree, is you're all kind of like guerrilla marketers. It's like, if you're doing Facebook ads, you're gonna go all in.
Yeah.
He was talking about backstage how his team divides and conquers with door knocking, right? Which is quote unquote old school, but that's awesome. That's not waiting for something to happen, So.
You know, it's funny that some of my agents are quite a bit younger, and they're like, "Oh, what a good idea!"
Yeah.
I'm thinking, "Holy freaking crap!" Going to talk to somebody is a really good idea. But at the end of the day, if it's easy, it's probably not effective.
Yes.
If you send
that's a tweetable. If it's easy,
Yeah.
it's probably not.
if you were on your Facebook page all day and you were having fun, you weren't thinking hard enough.
Yeah.
If you sent out one letter to a neighborhood one time, you weren't working hard enough.
Right.
It was too easy.
Right.
And I think that I'm just talking to you guys, the implementation and the consistency.
Yeah.
And one of the things I think that one of the competitive advantages that I have, and the reason why I think I'm old school, is I started with older people, much older than me. And I think there's this if the average real estate agent is 57 years old in America or whatever, if the communication between that person and me, sometimes me doesn't want to listen to them, and they certainly don't want to listen to us, but if we're willing to do that, it's a game changer.
Well, it's also, when you say that, it makes me think of my inside sales associate. The demographic in my area, there are people who are in their 50s, 60s, the kids have graduated and they're selling that. I really listen to go on right now. So I make sure that the person who's making those phone calls is in her 50s and she's relatable to those people and she can build that relationship versus some kid is in their 20s who's never going to develop that kind of relationship and that kind of rapport with that person. So you're spot on when you're saying that.
What I'll say though about door knocking is, if you're going to spend an hour door knocking, right, you might get one really good relationship, right, or two. If you make an impact, if you actually get them to open their door and make an impact face-to-face, where I do an old school radio show, an FM radio show, Saturdays 11 to noon, totally old school, right? But in that hour, the entire time, I am pushing people towards my social platforms, towards Facebook, towards Instagram, wherever, because I want to capture that relationship long term. So you're walking by someone's desk, you're seeing them on Facebook, how do you not know they're hitting them in their messenger, right, with a personal conversation back and forth, or commenting in their newsfeed and creating real rapport? Because unless you set an appointment off that door knock, you've got nothing trailing that experience.
I disagree with that. Here's why.
Go for it.
Your radio is the reason why I disagree, actually. Because sometimes knocking on the door is not about getting the business, it's about sharpening your tongue, right? Facing the objections. Me, I don't think I could do a radio show. I don't think I could do that.
I think you could. What do you guys think? I think you could nail a radio show.
Well, I would say though, and my agents will say that sometimes when we do that. God, I didn't get anything. Everybody didn't want to talk to me. They didn't.
Oh, there's no.
You were sharpening your tongue. Sometimes
yeah.
The goal is not to get the deal. The deal is to sharpen yourself.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You get face to face. You've got to up. I'm a big believer, old school role play with the team members so that they know what to say, when to say it.
I just can't say it like you say it, Kyle, or whatever. And it's like, whatever, sweetheart, I wasn't able to say it either until I learned how to say it.
You've been practicing.
Practice with our team every morning.
Please.
Big believer in that. That's got to be old school, I would imagine. So.
Well, I think, each of you, you've got systems. It's not just, it's not just you, right? You've got multiple people. You've got the right people. And I think what I was really impressed with each of you about is you're not trying to be all things to all people, right? You're not trying to be the digital marketer and the marketing and X, Y, and Z and managing all your transactions. And I really think as we move into 2017, this is not a team conversation, but it kind of is in the sense of just being true to who you are, right? And knowing your audience, like you said, being open to new opportunities and getting the right parameters in place to make things happen. One thing I wanted to cover is on sort of the new school, I guess, is Facebook ads, because there's been a lot of conversations around Facebook ads. Talk a little bit about it backstage. Can you share, Sue, a little bit about how you use Facebook ads and how you're budgeting?
Well, I have marketing now, so I used to answer this question. I know we do it.
Yes.
I know what's coming from it. And it's mostly, I think, for I have to do a lot of retargeting. And I listen all the time.
She's got a good person. That's important. That's awesome. The Facebook ads play a part.
What's Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, they do. We use them. We don't target them as good as we can. I want Byron to talk about this, but one of the things that I need to hire, and I try to hire, is people who don't know things that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I learned from you. The gal that you hired is how old?
24. Don't quote me on that. If Brittany sees this video, she's like, "Well, I'm 23 or whatever." She's like lower 20s, right?
And
so
what you're doing on Facebook is remarkable. So yes, I do it. Do I do it to the caliber of him? No, because my people don't have those skills necessarily. Right. Because
and our style on Facebook, to your point on an ad, she does great creative, right? But a great creative is never going to convert somebody. So I've got to have that bit.ly link out to a landing page. Last year, we did a really nice drone shot of a waterfront property that we were listing in 2 weeks. One photo, just a teaser photo. Coming soon, 2 weeks, hasn't hit the MLS, something that catches the attention. Bit.ly link for more information, basically a contact out back to us. I targeted the ad to real estate agents and brokers only. Because to Kyle's point, they're all on Facebook all day long, right? So I targeted my ad to agents. We co-broke the deal, 50-50 commission. Absolutely. And that sale was over 1.7 million, highest sale in over 4 years for that specific town. So I get it all the time. Great, you're running all these ads, you're gonna sell the $199,000 house, you're not gonna be able to sell my 750, my 1.5, my $2 million home. Not true if you target the right person, the agent, the broker, with the buyer who's spending all their time on Facebook.
I mean, it's interesting now, we are genuinely a marketing company.
Absolutely.
And we don't understand marketing and demographics and analytics, and I mean, that's real estate.
Facebook ad story, actually. So I got an expired listing, and it was a very expensive home in a town that is more of a secondary town for me. And they called me to list it because my town is more expensive, so they thought, well, maybe we'll convert from those people and send it there. So we did a Facebook ad on it in our area. We sold that house through a Facebook ad, and it's somebody who had not thought of that town. So they do work. Yeah, they do absolutely.
I like what Kyle said. We are a marketing company. Going old school, like putting ads in the newspaper, for instance, you're not in control of your message, right? You don't own that. If you're producing and creating your own content on your website, on your Facebook page, whatever, you're creating a following, a tribe within your community that's always going to be there, that you can always market to if you're producing good, valuable content. I believe, like if anybody went to San Francisco's Inman, I didn't. I believe Gary Vaynerchuk spoke at that one. Am I correct?
He's my neighbor.
He's your neighbor?
No, his wine store is right on the corner from my house.
Awesome. So he always says, marketing company first, real estate agent second. Marketing company first, whatever business second. That's going to be the game moving forward as we get into all this technology. And
I don't know that we need to talk about the cost to hire somebody, but I think it's important to know that the person who has skills that you don't have is probably less expensive than you think to hire. So, I mean, some of the things that I go to some of these sessions and people are like, "Oh my gosh, I would never do that. Just beyond that, I don't even want to start that." People knows knows how to do what you really think you want to do from this conversation is probably 22 years old, doesn't have a job, can teach you a few things, and they might move on, but who cares? You're a good career starter for them, and it's good for you as well. So don't be afraid to just get somebody to have them come to your office and just say, do it.
Oh my God.
For 2 months.
I think it's more of a sort of base knowledge. So, because I think sometimes when it comes to some of these different things that you can hire for, if you don't know what you don't know, it's easy to say, okay, I'll just trust this kid, right? So I think
You have to have base knowledge. For sure.
Exactly.
I agree. You can't just tell them to go wild.
Right.
And here's a really cool story. Like, you can use social media to find, everyone beats up the millennials, right? There's a lot of young people that are hungry to do this kind of stuff, that know how to shoot video, that know how to edit video, that know Facebook because they grew up with it, right? Great story. I've got Hannah somewhere out here doing some, there she is, doing some video. We just met yesterday. I wanted someone to video this talk so I could put it up on YouTube and on Facebook. Search.twitter.com, New York City real estate videographer. I will send it to everybody, absolutely. That's all I did. Started searching, started tweeting people. Next thing I know, D-Rock, who I just brought up, Gary Vaynerchuk, I don't know if anybody follows him. He's got basically an on-staff videographer. He retweeted my tweet. He's got like 13,000 followers. I would imagine most of them are videographers. I was getting inundated with all these videographers within 2 hours, right? So Hannah, she was the first one to respond. We connected. She got the job. Now, I'm still getting emails from videographers. If I would have called up Doug at the Sotheby's office in New York City, hey, I'm looking for a videographer. Oh, gee, Byron, I don't have one. Let me ask so-and-so in the office, right? Like old school, like word of mouth. It would have taken days for him to like sift around, find somebody. Within an hour, I had Hannah. She's awesome. Love you, Hannah. Thank you so much. And I had so many other contacts that I made through Twitter. It's an amazing tool.
Well, I think a lot of it is just learning how to use those tools, because otherwise, to your point, you're just messing around on Facebook all day, right? So understanding the tools enough to know that you don't have to be everywhere, but which ones make the most sense, knowing your audience, knowing your demographic, I think is really key. We have a couple minutes long now. We have 1 minute left.
The other thing is scalability when we talk about the video.
Yes.
So you have a video, you could use that at your listing appointment if it's a community video. You can use it online to try to relocation market. I sent community videos to, I launched my business by sending community videos to all the relocation companies that I in the town.
Yeah.
So, there's so many
Video has a really long life cycle.
Yeah, exactly. And how are you use an email blast in a drip email? There's so many different ways to use it.
Absolutely.
So that's micro content in your community?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. And that's a great way to kind of take the old school to the new school. And what a great way to meet the local restaurant owners and your favorite boutiques, and like what do you do with the charities? It's really a win-win. So just a minute or so left. Any last thoughts? Any big takeaways that you want to leave everybody?
I'll play off of what Sue just said. Video, Facebook Live, YouTube, believe it or not, super powerful. Google, #1 search engine in the world. YouTube's #2. They're very motivated to keep them #2. Facebook's coming hard. Use them both. Facebook Live, YouTube.
Yeah, and I would just say do something different than what you're doing now. Add something to your repertoire of things that you are working from a marketing perspective, and do it consistently.
Yeah, that's the other point. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would basically go a little bit to the ultimate saying, great service, hire whoever you need to hire to make sure you're people are touched on a regular basis, your clients. You're always actually in touch with your clients and let them handle all the other stuff. And that's how you're going to really build a big business, so that your reputation's on your path.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, guys.